My roommate tried to literally cook me. When Lisa moved in 3 months ago, I thought I'd hit the roommate jackpot. She was clean, quiet, paid rent on time, and loved to cook elaborate meals that she always insisted on sharing. I'm terrible in the kitchen, so having someone who'd make dinner every night seemed like a perfect arrangement. I'm Sarah, and I work as a graphic designer from home most days. Lisa worked at some medical research facility downtown, always coming home with stories about lab work and clinical trials. She had this way of talking about human biology that was fascinating and slightly unsettling, like she saw people as collections of systems and chemicals rather than actual individuals. The first month was great. Lisa would make these amazing dishes I'd never heard of before, always with exotic spices and herbs she'd order online. She'd serve dinner precisely at 7 every evening, insisting we eat together because nutrition timing matters for absorption. I started gaining weight, which was weird because the portions didn't seem that large. But I also started feeling different, more tired than usual, even though I was sleeping 9 hours a night. My thinking felt fuzzy during the day, and I'd have these strange, vivid dreams that I could barely remember when I woke up. I mentioned it to Lisa, and she suggested I might be fighting off some kind of virus. She started adding what she called immune boosters to my meals, weird brown powders that she'd sprinkle on everything, claiming they were mushroom extracts and herbal supplements from her lab. The food began tasting slightly bitter, but Lisa explained that was normal for medicinal ingredients. Around week 6, I noticed Lisa taking photos of my meals before I ate them. When I asked why, she said she was documenting successful recipes for her food blog, but she never showed me any blog, and I never saw her taking pictures of her own food. I started feeling worse. Not sick exactly, but disconnected from my own body. My reflexes were slower, and I'd find myself staring at things for minutes without realizing it. Twice I fell asleep at my computer in the middle of working, which had never happened before. Lisa seemed increasingly excited about something, always checking her phone and making quiet phone calls in her bedroom. She'd emerge looking pleased and would immediately start preparing more elaborate meals, asking detailed questions about how I felt after eating. One evening, I pretended to eat everything but secretly fed most of it to our neighbor's cat through the window. Within hours, I felt more alert than I had in weeks. That's when I realized something was seriously wrong with the food. I started documenting everything. I took photos of the meals, saved small samples in containers, and began researching the ingredients Lisa claimed to be using. What I found made my blood run cold. Several of the mushroom extracts she mentioned were actually sedatives used in veterinary medicine. I checked my bathroom cabinet and found bottles of my prescription vitamins had been replaced with identical containers filled with different pills. My birth control, my allergy medication, even my daily multivitamin had been swapped for substances I couldn't identify. Lisa had been systematically drugging me for months, but I still didn't understand why until I found her laptop open in the kitchen yesterday morning. She'd left it unlocked while taking a shower, and on the screen was an email thread about test subject preparation protocols and optimal dosing schedules for compliance. At the bottom of the email chain was a calendar appointment for next Friday, titled Delivery, Subject S, with an address I didn't recognize, and instructions about ensuring complete sedation for transport. And that's when I realized Lisa wasn't just poisoning me. I'm staring at Lisa's laptop, my heart pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. The shower is still running. I have maybe 5 minutes before she comes out. My hands shake as I pull out my phone and start taking photos of the screen, trying to capture every detail of these test subject preparation protocols. The emails are clinical, discussing me like I'm a lab specimen. Subject S has shown remarkable adaptation to initial compounds. One reads, increased dosage recommended to accelerate cellular changes. There's a reply from someone with a medical research facility email address. Remember to document all physiological responses. This specimen has significant potential. Specimen, not person, specimen. I scroll frantically through the emails, taking photos of everything. There's a mention of delivery preparations and extraction team protocols. They're planning to take me somewhere. My hands are trembling so badly I have to steady the phone against the table. A file icon catches my eye, subject S, logs, XLSX. I click it open and nearly vomit. It's a meticulous spreadsheet documenting every meal Lisa has prepared for me over the past 3 months. Each entry lists exact dosages of compounds with scientific names I don't recognize, alongside detailed notes about my behavior afterward. Subject showed signs of disorientation 47 minutes after consumption. Pupil dilation increased by 28% compared to baseline. Sleep cycle extended to 9.2 hours with notable REM disruption. There's a tab labeled Vitals where Lisa has been recording my temperature, estimated weight, and even my menstrual cycle. How did she know all this? Has she been examining me while I sleep? The shower stops, I quickly plug my flash drive into her laptop and start copying files. The progress bar crawls agonizingly slowly as I hear Lisa moving around in the bathroom. I keep scrolling through the emails while the files transfer. One catches my eye. It's from someone named Dr. Mercer, with the subject line, Ray, subject S, medical records. I open it and feel ice in my veins. Attached are my complete medical records, including test results from my annual physical 4 months ago. Genetic markers confirm ideal candidate status. The email notes. Proceed with preparation phase as discussed. They've been in my medical files. They targeted me specifically. I checked the flash drive 75% complete. Come on. Another folder labeled Project Prometheus contains documents about human enhancement studies and cellular optimization protocols. The language is dense with scientific terms, but I understand enough to realize they're talking about experimental procedures. One document mentions unprecedented success with controlled genetic modification in living subjects. The bathroom door handle jiggles. I quickly close the document and click on Lisa's calendar. There it is next Friday, at 2 p.m. Delivery. Subject S with an address I don't recognize and detailed instructions about sedation requirements. There's a note. Transport team will arrive at residence. Subject must be fully compliant. Ensure complete sedation by 1:30 p.m. The flash drive hits 100%. I yank it out and slip it into my pocket just as the bathroom door opens. I quickly switch to a random website and stand up, trying to look casual. Lisa emerges in her bathrobe, hair wrapped in a towel. She freezes when she sees me at her laptop. What are you doing? Her voice is eerily calm. Just checking my email. I lie, moving away from the computer. My laptop's charging in my room. She studies me for a moment, her eyes calculating. You look pale, Sarah. Are you feeling okay? Just tired, I say, forcing a yawn. Lisa nods, a small smile playing at her lips. Good idea. I made some herbal tea earlier. It'll help you sleep. Let me heat it up for you. No thanks, I say quickly, too quickly. I'm just going to crash. I walk to my bedroom, feeling her eyes on my back the entire way. Once inside, I lock the door and lean against it, breathing hard. I need to get out of here, but I need more evidence first. I carefully move my dresser away from the wall, revealing the small hole I'd discovered last week while looking for a lost earring. It leads to a space between the walls. Old houses like this one have all kinds of quirks. I'd ignored it then, but now I'm desperate for any information. Using my phone's flashlight, I peer through the hole and see something that makes my blood run cold. There's a small compartment in the wall of Lisa's room, visible through a gap in the plaster. Inside are rows of syringes, vials with colored liquids, and what looks like medical monitoring equipment. I take photos of everything I can see, then carefully move the dresser back. My phone buzzes with a text from Lisa. Made you a sandwich if you get hungry later. Left it in the fridge. Sweet dreams. I shudder, knowing exactly what would be in that sandwich. I need to search the apartment while she sleeps. Find anything else I can use as evidence. As I'm formulating a plan, my laptop pings with an email notification. It's from an address I don't recognize, prometheus.project@securemail.net. The subject line reads, Preparations for Friday's procedure. Lisa sent this to me? Why would she? Then I realized this wasn't meant for me. She must have entered my email by mistake when sending updates to her colleagues. I open it with trembling fingers. Attached is a document titled Subject Dossiers. Inside are profiles of 5 people, including one labeled Subject S, Sarah Kendrick, with my photo. The other 4 have different letter designations. 2 are marked Extraction Complete. 1 is labeled Failed Adaptation, Terminated, and the last one besides me is scheduled for extraction next month. I'm not the first, and unless I get out of here, I won't be the last. I hear Lisa's bedroom door close. I need to escape before Friday, before the transport team arrives, before I become another Extraction Complete in their files. I grab my emergency backpack from under the bed, the one I keep packed for earthquakes, and add my laptop, charger, and the flash drive. I'll wait until Lisa falls asleep, then I'm getting as far away from here as possible. As I sit on my bed waiting, I notice something strange on my arm, a small red mark I hadn't seen before. I examine it closely and see what looks like a tiny injection site. When did she? The memory hits me last night. I dozed off on the couch. I remember Lisa adjusting my blanket, a brief sharp sensation I attributed to catching my arm on something. What did she put in me? And more importantly, how will I ever prove any of this? I spend the next hour pacing my bedroom, alternating between panic and planning. I need to get out of this apartment, but I also need to make sure Lisa doesn't suspect I know anything. If she realizes I've discovered her plans, who knows what she might do? The transport team isn't scheduled until Friday. That gives me almost a week to gather more evidence and figure out an escape plan. My phone buzzes with a text from Lisa. Are you sure you don't want that tea? It helps with sleep. I type back quickly. Already half asleep. Thanks though. Then I add, actually feeling a bit under the weather. Might sleep in tomorrow. Her response is immediate. I'll make you my special immune-boosting breakfast. Rest well. I shudder at the thought of consuming anything she prepares, but maybe I can use this to my advantage. If she thinks I'm still compliant, still ingesting whatever she's giving me, I'll have more time to plan. I wake up early the next morning and flush the special breakfast down the toilet bit by bit while the shower runs. I make a show of seeming groggy and disoriented when Lisa checks on me before leaving for work. "You don't look well," she says, studying me with clinical interest rather than concern. "I've left lunch in the fridge. Make sure you eat it all, it has the supplements you need." The moment she leaves, I search the apartment thoroughly. In the living room, I find 3 tiny cameras hidden in air vents and behind picture frames. She's been watching me. In the kitchen, I discover a locked box in the back of the pantry. I can't open it, but I photograph it as evidence. I spend the rest of the day researching Lisa online. Her medical facility's website lists her as a research associate in cellular optimization. I dig deeper and find an article about the facility being investigated for ethics violations 2 years ago, though nothing came of it. That night, I pretend to eat dinner while actually hiding food in napkins. Lisa watches me intently. "You're still looking pale," she says, her tone concerned but her eyes calculating. "Let me check your temperature." Before I can protest, she presses a digital thermometer to my forehead, slightly elevated. "I think we need to increase your supplements." She disappears into her room and returns with a pill. "Take this. It'll help." I put it in my mouth, pretend to swallow, and later spit it into a plastic bag that I hide in my sock drawer. Evidence. The next day, Lisa seems agitated. I overhear her on the phone in her bedroom. Subject is showing resistance to current dosage levels. Cellular adaptation is slower than projected. That night, she locks my bedroom door from the outside. I hear the soft click after she thinks I'm asleep. My heart pounds as I realize I'm truly a prisoner now. On Wednesday, I call the police from my work computer while Lisa is at her job. The officer sounds skeptical as I explain that my roommate is drugging me and planning to deliver me to some research facility. "Do you have any physical evidence of these drugs?" he asks. "I've saved some of the food and pills," I tell him. "Bring them to the station and we'll test them," he says, but his tone suggests he thinks I'm paranoid. I gather my evidence and take an Uber to the police station. The desk sergeant takes my samples but warns me it could take weeks for results. I don't have weeks. That evening, Lisa brings home colleagues from her lab. They sit in our living room, drinking wine and talking while stealing glances at me. One woman with steel gray hair asks if she can observe the subject's gait pattern. Lisa nods, and the woman asks me to walk across the room. I comply, pretending I don't notice how they're all taking notes on their phones. After they leave, I search Lisa Mercer Medical Research online and find a disturbing post on a whistleblower forum about her previous roommate, Eliza Chen, who moved away suddenly last year. I message the poster, who responds immediately. Eliza disappeared. Her family filed a missing persons report, but nothing came of it. My blood runs cold. I'm not the first. Thursday night, Lisa insists I take a sleeping pill. I pretend to swallow it but hide it under my tongue. Once in my room, I hear her on the phone. "Final preparation tomorrow morning. Subject will be ready for extraction by 2 p.m. as scheduled." I wait until 3 a.m., when I'm sure Lisa is asleep. I carefully pick the lock on my bedroom door using techniques from a YouTube video I watched earlier. I creep to the bathroom and examine myself in the mirror. My skin has a strange yellowish tint despite not eating Lisa's food for days. Something else is happening to me. I lift my shirt and notice small injection marks along my ribcage. When did she? Then I remember the temperature check was a distraction. She must have injected me with something. Back in my room, I find a hidden panel behind my headboard containing a small recording device. She's been monitoring my sleep patterns, possibly injecting me while I'm unconscious. I use my laptop to search underground human experimentation market and find disturbing dark web forums discussing optimized human specimens, selling for millions to wealthy clients seeking biological enhancements. One post mentions Project Prometheus and cellular regeneration breakthroughs. Friday morning arrives. The extraction is scheduled for 2 p.m. I need to escape now, but when I try to leave my room, my legs give out beneath me. I collapse to the floor, a wave of dizziness washing over me. Lisa appears in the doorway, syringe in hand. "Going somewhere? Sarah? What did you do to me?" I manage to ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "Nothing you need to worry about. Just a little something to make the transition easier." She smiles. "Your genetic markers are extraordinary, you know. Your cellular structure has a natural resistance to degradation, essentially. You age more slowly than normal humans. Do you have any idea how valuable that makes you?" I try to crawl away, but my limbs won't cooperate. Lisa watches me with detached interest. "The transport team will be here in a few hours. By this time tomorrow, you'll be providing invaluable data to science." She kneels beside me, and making several very wealthy clients very happy. As she leaves, locking the door behind her, I drag myself to my backpack and pull out my phone. The screen blurs before my eyes, but I manage to send a message to the journalist whose contact information I found while researching Lisa's facility. "My name is Sarah Kendrick. My roommate Lisa Mercer is going to sell me to human experimenters today at 2 p.m. Please help. This is not a joke. I have evidence. I attach photos of Lisa's files and my own discolored skin, which now has a definite yellow-green tint around my wrists and neck. I hit send, just as another wave of dizziness hits me. Whatever happens next, I've left a trail. Someone knows. And maybe, just maybe, that will be enough to save me, or at least to make sure Lisa and her colleagues don't get away with this. I wake up to my phone vibrating. The journalist Meredith Chen from the Bay Area Investigative Report has responded to my desperate message. This sounds serious. Can you call me immediately? If you're in danger, I can contact authorities. My fingers tremble as I try to dial, but another wave of dizziness washes over me. Whatever Lisa injected me with is getting stronger. I manage to text back, can't talk, being drugged, 1422, Willow Street, Apt 3B. Please hurry, transport team coming at 2 p.m. I drag myself to the window and peer outside. It's just past 10 a.m. according to my phone. 4 hours until they come for me. I need to get out of this locked room. The doorknob rattles. I freeze. Sarah? Lisa calls through the door. I need to check your vitals before the team arrives. I don't respond, trying to control my breathing. Sarah, I know you're awake. Your heart rate monitor shows elevated BPM. Heart rate monitor? When did she? The lock clicks and Lisa enters, wearing latex gloves and carrying a small medical kit. Her eyes narrow when she sees me by the window. The sedative should have you completely immobile by now, she says, more to herself than to me. Your resistance to the compounds is remarkable. This is exactly why you're so valuable. I lunge for the door, but my legs buckle beneath me. Lisa watches dispassionately as I collapse to the floor. Your genetic markers are quite extraordinary, she continues, kneeling beside me and pulling out a syringe. Natural immunity to cellular degradation. Do you realize most humans begin aging at the molecular level by their mid-20s? Your cells show virtually no signs of deterioration despite being 31. People will notice I'm missing, I manage to say, my voice slurring. The police. Lisa laughs. The police? Who do you think funds half the department's technology initiatives? Besides, you won't be missing. You'll send emails, make occasional video calls. We have very convincing digital doubles these days. She rolls up my sleeve, swabbing my arm with alcohol. This is the final preparation compound. After this, you'll be fully compliant for transport. As she brings the needle toward my arm, my phone buzzes loudly from my pocket. Lisa pauses, frowning. Who are you texting? She reaches for my phone, but I summon every ounce of strength to roll away. My elbow connects with her jaw, sending the syringe flying across the room. Lisa curses, lunging after me as I crawl desperately toward the door. You're only making this harder on yourself, she hisses, grabbing my ankle. I kick backward, connecting with something solid. Lisa grunts in pain. My phone buzzes again. Meredith is calling. I manage to answer it, gasping, "Help, please." Lisa wrenches the phone from my hand and smashes it against the wall. It shatters, pieces scattering across the hardwood floor. "Stupid girl," she snarls. All pretense of clinical detachment gone. Do you have any idea what you're worth? The clients paying for you have waited years for a specimen with your genetic profile. She retrieves the syringe and advances toward me again. I'm cornered, my back against the wall, limbs growing heavier by the minute. Why me? I ask, trying to buy time. There must be others. Genetic lottery, Lisa says, her professional demeanor returning. 1 in several million. Your cells naturally produce a protein that prevents telomere shortening. Essentially, you age at roughly half the normal human rate. Our clients are very interested in that particular trait. A car horn honks outside. Lisa glances toward the window, momentarily distracted. I use the opportunity to grab a lamp from my nightstand and swing it at her head. It connects with a sickening crack, and Lisa crumples to the floor. I don't wait to see if she's conscious. I grab my backpack, stagger to the door, and somehow make it out of the apartment. The hallway spins around me as I stumble toward the stairs, my vision blurring at the edges. Outside, the sunlight is blinding. I lurch forward, not knowing where I'm going, just knowing I need to get away. A woman steps out of a parked car, waving at me. Sarah, I'm Meredith Chen. Are you okay? I collapse into her arms, my legs finally giving out completely. Hospital, I manage to whisper before darkness claims me. I wake up in a sterile white room, the steady beep of monitors filling my ears. A man in a white coat stands over me, examining a tablet. She's awake, he calls over his shoulder. Meredith appears beside him, her face tight with concern. Sarah, you're safe. This is Dr. Wallace. He's a friend and a whistleblower from Lisa's research facility. Dr. Wallace checks my vitals, his expression grim. We've run blood tests. There are nanochips in your bloodstream tracking devices. That's how they've been monitoring you. Can you remove them? I ask, my voice hoarse. We're working on it. They're designed to integrate with your cellular structure. He shows me a scan on his tablet. Tiny mechanical specks flow through my veins like schools of fish. They're transmitting your location and biometric data. They'll find me. I whisper. Not yet, Meredith says. We're in a shielded facility, but we don't have much time. Dr. Wallace nods. The nanochips have a built-in alarm system. If they don't receive a reset code every 1-2 hours, they alert the monitoring team. My mind races despite the lingering effects of the drugs. We need to go back, I say suddenly. What? Meredith stares at me. Are you insane? Lisa's laptop has everything evidence of what they're doing, who's involved, and I need her to confess. I struggle to sit up. If I disappear now, they'll just find another victim. We need to expose all of it. Dr. Wallace and Meredith exchange looks. She's right, Doctor, Wallace finally says. The facility will deny everything. They'll claim Lisa was acting alone, a rogue researcher with mental health issues. 3 hours later, we're parked a block from my apartment. I'm wired with a recording device, and Meredith has her camera ready. Doctor, Wallace has given me something to counteract the sedatives, but my hands still shake. Remember, Meredith says, get her to admit who she's working for. We need names. I nod, my mouth dry. The transport team comes at 2 p.m. It's 1:30 now. We'll be right outside, Dr. Wallace assures me. The moment you have what we need, get out. I walk back into the building that was my home until it became my prison. When I unlock the door to the apartment, Lisa is sitting at the kitchen table, calmly drinking tea. A bruise darkens her temple where the lamp connected. I knew you'd come back, she says without looking up. The nanochips. Very clever tracking system, aren't they? Who are you selling me to? I ask bluntly, staying near the door. Lisa smiles. Clients who appreciate biological uniqueness. Your genetic anomaly is worth millions on the private market. And the research facility? Are they involved? Officially? No, unofficially. She shrugs. Where do you think we get our equipment? Our compounds? Our training? She sets down her teacup. The facility provides resources. We provide results that never appear in official studies. How many others have there been? Before you? Lisa stands, moving toward me. 7 completed extractions. 2 failures. You would have been our 10th subject. And what happens to the subjects after extraction? They provide biological material for our clients. Some survive the process. Some don't. It depends on which parts the clients need. I feel sick. Which parts? Organs, tissue, bone marrow, whatever carries your unique genetic markers. She tilts her head. In your case, they're particularly interested in your reproductive system. Imagine creating children with your aging resistance. My hand instinctively covers my abdomen. You're monsters. We're pioneers, Lisa corrects me. The wealthy have always purchased what others can't afford. Once it was land, then information. Now it's biological advantage. A car pulls up outside. Lisa glances at her watch and smiles. Right on time. The transport team is here. I back toward the door. I have evidence. Journalists know everything. Do they? Lisa looks unconcerned. Our clients include 3 Supreme Court justices and the CEOs of the 6 largest tech companies in America. Who do you think controls the media? Heavy footsteps sound in the hallway. I reach for the doorknob, but Lisa is faster, grabbing my wrist. You're not going anywhere, Sarah. You're far too valuable to waste. The door bursts open, but instead of the transport team, Meredith rushes in with 2 uniformed police officers. Lisa Mercer, you're under arrest, one officer announces, drawing his weapon. Lisa's face contorts with rage. She lunges for a drawer, pulling out a syringe, but the second officer tackles her before she can use it. As they handcuff her, Lisa locks eyes with me. This changes nothing, she hisses. They'll come for you. They know what you are now. As the officers lead her away, Meredith squeezes my shoulder. We got it all on tape, and Dr. Wallace is already talking to the FBI about the facility's involvement. I should feel relieved, but Lisa's words echo in my mind. They'll come for you. They know what you are now. I look down at my arms, where the nanochips still flow through my veins, broadcasting my location to people who see me as nothing more than valuable biological material. What now? I ask Meredith. Now we get you somewhere safe, she says, and then we bring down everyone involved. As we leave the apartment, I glance back one last time at the place that was supposed to be my home. Instead, it became the place where I learned the terrifying truth that to some people, I'm not a person at all. I'm a specimen, and they're still out there, waiting. The medical whistleblower's name is Dr. Aidan Wallace, and he looks nothing like I expected. His lab is hidden in the basement of an abandoned community clinic, accessed through a storage closet with a false back wall. The equipment looks cobbled together from mismatched parts, but Meredith assures me he's one of the best biochemists in the country. The nanochips are military-grade tech, Doctor, Wallace explains, studying my blood sample under a microscope. They're designed to integrate with your cellular structure, making traditional removal impossible. I'm lying on a makeshift medical table, an IV in my arm slowly filtering my blood through a machine that hums and clicks beside me. My skin has taken on a sickly, yellowish-green tint that seems to be spreading from my wrists and neck toward my torso. Can you get them out? I ask, my voice weaker than I'd like. Dr. Wallace exchanges a glance with Meredith. We're trying an experimental cleansing procedure. It's dangerous, but it's our only option. The nanochips are programmed to release toxins if they detect tampering. How long do I have before Lisa's people track me down? 6 hours? Maybe less, Meredith says, checking her watch. The FBI is raiding the research facility as we speak, but Lisa's underground network is extensive. The cleansing procedure is excruciating. My blood feels like it's boiling as it returns to my body, purged of the microscopic trackers but carrying a chemical cocktail designed to neutralize the drugs Lisa administered. My temperature spikes to 104 degrees. I hallucinate Lisa standing over me, syringe in hand, whispering about genetic markers and cellular optimization. Stay with us, Sarah, Dr. Wallace urges, injecting something into my IV line. Your body is fighting the nanochip's self-defense protocol. I vomit a greenish fluid that glows faintly under the lab's fluorescent lights. Dr. Wallace collects a sample, his expression grim. The compounds they've been giving you were designed to prepare your organs for harvesting, he explains. They've been slowly altering your cellular structure, making your tissues more resilient to transplant rejection. Will I recover? I manage to ask between waves of nausea. Yes, but it will take time. Your natural genetic resistance to cellular degradation is actually helping you fight the chemicals. 3 days pass in a haze of fever and pain. I drift in and out of consciousness, catching fragments of conversations between Meredith and Dr. Wallace. Words like federal investigation, offshore accounts, and client list float through my delirium. When I finally stabilize, Meredith is sitting beside my bed, typing furiously on her laptop. They got Lisa, she says when she notices I'm awake, and the FBI raided the research facility. They found everything: documentation on 7 previous victims, financial records, client information. It's bigger than we imagined. She turns her laptop so I can see the headline: Medical Research Facility Implicated in Human Trafficking Ring. The article details how the facility served as a front for an underground network that identified, prepared, and sold human subjects with unique genetic traits to wealthy clients seeking biological advantages. There were 7 before me? I ask, remembering Lisa's cold admission. Meredith nods grimly. All missing persons cases that went nowhere. The FBI found medical records for 5 of them. The other 2, she hesitates. They found remains. I close my eyes, thinking of Lisa's previous roommate, Eliza Chen, who moved away suddenly. Another victim who didn't survive the extraction process. What happens now? You'll need to testify once you're stronger, Meredith says. Your evidence and recorded confession from Lisa are central to the case. But there's something else you should know. She shows me another article, this one featuring the smiling face of tech billionaire Elliot Chambers, CEO of Immortal Innovations. The headline reads, Tech CEO arrested in connection with human trafficking investigation. He was your buyer, Meredith explains. According to emails recovered from the facility, he paid $8 million for your extraction. He's been funding the research for years, using the subjects to develop anti-aging treatments. I remember Lisa's words. Your genetic markers are extraordinary. Your cells show virtually no signs of deterioration despite being 31. What's wrong with my DNA? I ask Dr. Wallace when he comes to check on me later. Nothing's wrong, he says, reviewing my latest test results. You have a rare genetic mutation that affects telomere maintenance. Essentially, your cells age at roughly half the normal human rate. Is that why they wanted me? He nods. Your genetic profile is extremely valuable for longevity research. These wealthy clients weren't just buying organs, they were buying the genetic blueprint for extended youth. 2 weeks later, I'm strong enough to give my deposition. The FBI agents handling the case treat me with a mixture of fascination and pity. They show me files recovered from the research facility, detailed profiles of potential subjects across the country, all with rare genetic markers that make them valuable to the underground network. We've identified 23 additional targets they were monitoring, Agent Rivera tells me. We've placed them under protection and are dismantling the entire operation. Lisa refuses to cooperate, maintaining her clinical detachment even in custody. But the evidence speaks for itself. Financial records reveal payments to police officials, medical licensing boards, and even 2 judges who dismissed previous investigations into missing persons connected to the facility. The trial is a media sensation. I testify for 3 days, describing in excruciating detail how Lisa systematically drugged me, monitored my vital signs, and prepared me for extraction. Medical experts confirm that the nanochips in my bloodstream were military-grade technology reported stolen 2 years earlier. When the verdict comes, Lisa and 14 others are convicted of human trafficking, illegal medical experimentation, and conspiracy. The research facility's director claims ignorance, but emails prove his involvement in providing equipment and compounds for the private research initiative. 6 months after my escape, I still struggle with the after effects of Lisa's experiments. My immune system remains compromised, and I experience periodic episodes of tremors and memory lapses. Wallace assures me these symptoms will fade with time. Your body is remarkably resilient, he says during one of our follow-up appointments. Most people wouldn't have survived the cocktail of compounds they gave you. The settlement from the research facility is substantial enough that I never have to work again if I choose not to. But money can't erase the nightmares or the lingering fear that someone else might come for me, someone who knows about my genetic anomaly. I use part of the settlement to establish the Eliza Chen Foundation, named after Lisa's previous victim. We provide resources for identifying potential targets of medical trafficking and support for survivors. Working with Dr. Wallace and a team of ethical researchers, we develop protocols to flag unusual patterns of medical interest in individuals with rare genetic markers. 1 year after my escape, I receive an email from a woman in Portland whose roommate works at a genetic testing facility and has been documenting her meals and sleep patterns. The details are chillingly familiar. I think I'm being prepared for something, she writes. No one believes me. I forward the email to Agent Rivera and book the next flight to Portland. As I pack my bag, I glance at the mirror where my reflection shows no visible signs of what I endured. But the scars are there, beneath the surface, in altered cells and fragmented memories. Lisa was right about one thing: I am different, but my difference is now my strength. The genetic quirk that made me a target has become my purpose. I will find others like me, potential victims whose uniqueness makes them valuable commodities to those who see humans as specimens. I check the address of the woman who contacted me and add it to my phone's GPS. Tomorrow, I'll meet her and her roommate. I'll recognize the signs Lisa missed, that I'm not just a collection of valuable cells. I'm a survivor who knows exactly what to look for.